Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a returning subscriber, I love you, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always coming back. All right, so today I want to answer a question that one of you sent to me, and I will try to make this video very quick. First of all, thank you guys so much for all the love that you shared on the last video. I knew that there was a reason why God wanted I and my husband to share that video. And if you have not seen that video, please make sure that you see it. You'll be blessed so much. So like I said, I will be answering a question of you asked in today's video. So someone sent me an email. She said, "Dear Victoria Fash, dear Mrs. Fash, I really hope that you get this email. I will be very happy. I appreciate all the videos you put out channel. They are really helpful and we are blessed to have you. Thank you very much." She said, "My name is this." I won't be calling her name. Please, I have some questions for you, but please keep me anonymous because, but I would really appreciate you make a video to talk about. First, I love God and my partner does as well. I and my partner fell in sexual sin and we have decided to fast track our wedding instead of waiting till next year. We are staying abroad, but I don't have a job right now and we want to stay together until but I still feel like I'm not ready for marriage. I don't know why. I love this person. I am sure about him, but I still don't really feel completely ready. Did you feel 100% ready for marriage when you got married? Please, can you talk about this in your next video? Yes, I will. I think this is a very good question, and not just because she's asking, but because I was having similar conversation with a friend of mine who is also like in that dilemma. Am I really ready? Like, am I sure I am ready? First of all, I'd like to know what you guys think, especially the married folks and you, and even the single folks, right? What do you think about this? Like, what advice do you have for her? And let me also beg you guys to please like my videos. I really need the likes, okay? So here, let's get into it. So fast tracking wedding because you fell into sexual sin, to me, I don't think that's okay. However, I understand, what's behind it. I understand that, we're humans, right? And I always say this, there's nobody that is holier than thou. If it was left to me, I would not date my husband for 4 years before getting married to him, or almost 4 years before we got married. Life and circumstances happened, but our plan was to get married earlier than that. And the reason I always say is, don't date for too long. Don't date without a goal in mind. Date knowing that this is where we are going and this is when we aim to get there. It might not happen when you aim to get there, but have a plan that this is when we are going to get married, right? So the reason is because even the Bible says that, it's better to marry than to burn, because God realizes that, we are born with sexual, when we get to a certain age, our humanness would, start to show itself. We are born with, sexual desires and all those things that would, require some kind of, attention at some time in our life. So that's why the Bible always says that, don't keep yourself. If you can marry, go ahead and do that, right? So I understand the predicament. So that's why I always say that date with a goal in mind. Don't date just for dating, because there is no way you would, a person that you're emotionally attached to, that you love and he loves you and you guys are planning a life together, there is no way that you will not be tempted to do certain things, sin basically, right? So instead of doing that, why not just get married? However, should sex or wanting to have sex be the major reason why you want to get married? No, right? Because the truth about our feeling and sexual feelings is that, it can blind us from a lot of things. There are a lot of, especially if you are driven by your fleshly desires and you desire just to want to, have sex, because you will get into marriage and you have sex and you get tired, and then what, right? So I don't think that, and I'm talking to the singles now, that, just my desire to have sex should be the major reasons why I want to run into marriage. I don't think that should be. I think that you need to be sure of a lot of things. I've spoken, I have so many videos of things to look out for before you marry him, things to look out for before you marry her, the necessities you need. I have so much videos, right? So please make sure that you watch those. But again, I would not also advise that, you push your marriage forward, even though you are both dying with sexual lust or sexual desires, right? You see, one of the major issues I have with, Christians is sometimes we tend to pretend like these things don't affect us, or we try to over spiritualize things. And it's when we try so hard to spiritualize the sexuality and the reality that we are burning, that's when many of us, end up falling. I have so many stories, right? You don't even want to know. I have so many stories, right? So anyways, do I think that you should rush to marriage because you guys have sexual desires? No. However, from your story, and I'm going to read that part again, you said that you love this person, you are sure about him, and all of that. So I would always say, do your due diligence. Is this person the right person for you? You love him? Does he love you? Do you share the same values? What's his relationship with God like? What is his relationship with the women in his life like? What is his mindset about marriage? What is his mindset about motherhood, about being a woman, about raising children? What if that's what you desire? What is his mindset about life generally? Do you does your values, do they align? They don't have to be the same to align. So when you find out all of this and you've prayed about it and you have peace about him and you have a leading in the spirit that this is the person for you, when you have all of those and then you now have sexual desires and stuff, is it okay to fast track your marriage in order to to not sin? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. As long as you know that this person is the right person for you, why not, what are you waiting for, right? So that's an aside. Now going back to the major question she was asking, do you ever feel 100% sure before getting into marriage? Now I would not be absolute in my answer. I will share my own experience, but I won't be absolute in my answer because I remember one of my friends recently was asking me the same, how are you sure you're ready? This is a friend that she's not young, but she still feels like, am I ready? And the reason most times, and I remember my husband approached me. Now let me go extreme. My husband approached me. You guys already know the story. I literally just finished writing my last paper the day that my husband asked me out, and no, the day we started talking right on Instagram, and I could tell that this guy would want something quite serious. And I think a few months later, then he asked, like, my husband did not ask me to date him, he asked me to marry him. And at that time I wasn't even sure. I didn't even know what I wanted in life. I just finished university. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to Nigeria. I had a job in Ghana. I wasn't sure if I was going to stay in Ghana for long. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for my NYSC. My sister was just was not even, at least at the time, planning to get married yet. And I never saw myself getting married before my elder sister did. I felt like I was too young to even be thinking about marriage, because the reason is also because all my years in university, I actually decided not to go into, I was not in any relationship throughout university years, right? I did not have a boyfriend from 100 level to 400 level just because I wanted to dedicate myself to my studies and to God, right? So the plan was that after school like this, when I finish writing my paper and I'm done with school, I was going to date. I was going to take time, find out who is the right person for me. I didn't plan to date around, but I still planned on having a career first. I wasn't even planning to date after school. I was planning on, have a career, because I knew there was a calling upon my life. Figure out what that is, figure out what I want to do in my life, and then talk about or think about a guy. I wasn't thinking about getting married, when my husband came. And then this guy just came and literally disrupted all my plans. And literally he came and he was like, I want you to marry me. Not even like let's date or it's like marriage straight up. And I remember I was so scared at the time. And I told him no, that I wasn't ready, right? That I didn't think I was ready and all. And he was very persistent. And he kept, and then he asked me, why are you ready? And then I told him, I achieved the Lord in life, and all of that. And I remember that day, he asked me that, okay, what are the things you want to achieve? And I'm like, I don't really have those answers, but at least these are the little things that I could see myself doing. And it's like, okay, but that in your mind, it's going to take you 5 years. And I'm telling you what happened, like the conversation we had. He said he's going to take you 5. I don't even think he remembers this. Do you remember this, babe? Do you remember this conversation I'm talking about? You already following when you asked me out and I told you that I wasn't ready. Do you remember the conversation that ensued after that? What was it? Yeah. So he was like, why? And then I told him like, these are the things I want to achieve. And then he's like, okay, that do I know that humanly speaking, I'm thinking that it's going to take me at least 10 years to achieve most of these things. But what if God makes it happen? Like, with God can actually compress time. God can actually make all these things I think would take so long to happen in a year or two. And I'm like, well, he has a point there because God can do the impossible. So I was like, yeah, he had a point, in that aspect. And I think that was when I started to like, okay, maybe I consider this, but I still did not until, eventually he told me, close your eyes, imagine where you want to be in 10 years. And he was like, I'm dedicated, I will, what was that he said? I can't remember. He said, if you give me a chance, I will make sure that, you achieve ×3 and ×10 and then whatever of that, blah, blah, blah. And, he spoke to my fears when he proposed, not proposed, but like proposed that we get into a relationship, which to him was like get into a relationship leading to marriage. Remember, dating with a goal in mind. And I remember when he said that, I'm like, okay, because again, going back to this guy is everything I prayed for. He supports my dream. I've always prayed for a man that would, be my cheerleader, that would support my dream. dream that would not just support me on the sideline, but actively be involved in my dreams, because I always knew that the ministry that God was calling me into would require my husband, to be a huge part of that, right? So I could see all of those. And most importantly, I prayed about this. I knew that this is him. Was I 100% sure without any iota of doubt? No. You see, when people tell you that, oh, when you meet the right person, you'll be 100, you have to have no doubt in your heart whatsoever. Yes, there are certain things that you should know. There should be no question on, like his relationship with God, his dedication to me, his dedication to this relationship, his mindset about marriage, everything I'd already listed earlier. Everything was good. But there was always this thing inside of me that there could be a better person out there. There could be a, there could be a whatever. But, it took time of getting to know each other and all of that for those fears to go. And now it became a fear of, am I really ready? So like I said, he said we should get married in the year that year we met. I said it's not going to work, because he asked me out in July, like even December it can't happen. So let's move it. So we kept negotiating, and then we negotiated the next year. But then life happened, and we kept moving, and it kept moving. And I knew that was God just orchestrating us, ensuring that and during that season, God worked on us individually and as a unit so much that by the time we came together, if we had gotten married earlier, we probably would not have made it, because we needed to go through so much process individually and together, right? So we did not, and did we have, yes, sexual, yes, a lot, right? So the burning, the desires were there, and there were a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure at time of, so now it was now a thing of, am I ready? Am I not ready? I wasn't really sure if I was ready, especially the following year. And then I had travel, and then we had to wait another year. And then so much happened. So much was revealed in both our lives. So much things that God had to work on us, on our mindset, our belief system, some of the habits and characteristics that we had, and all of that. And then by the time we came, I came back and we were together, I knew that we were better than we were the first couple of years that we're dating. But was I still 100% ready? No. Was I 100% sure that I was ready? No. Was I 100% ready? No. And when I'm talking about if you say you're 100% ready for something, it means that whatever comes your way whilst you are in the marriage, you are ready for it. I wasn't ready for a lot of things we went through in marriage. I don't think either of us were. Don't die on me. I don't think either of us were ready for the things that would come. I don't think we're 100% ready for marriage. But was I 100% sure if I was ready for marriage? No. So that's the thing. I know people always think that, before you get into marriage, make sure that you know for certain and you have no doubts in your heart. I don't think that there's any reasonable person who went into marriage and did not have a little bit of doubt in their heart. Not doubt about the person, not doubt that he's right for me, but mostly it's doubt of, am I ready for this? This is a big deal. Marriage is a big deal. So that if you don't have that fear and that anxiety in you, maybe you need to check it. Maybe you are going into it with a lot of unrealistic expectations from yourself, from the person, from the marriage. Maybe you are going into it without any idea what you're about to go into. Sometimes the little fear you have, the little you have in your heart, it's an indication that you're taking this thing very seriously. So yes, I wasn't 100% sure. But you know what? I was 100% sure. Well, I was 99.9% sure of the person I was getting married to. I was 100% sure of his values, of a lot of things I just spoke about. And that was the piece to me. I was telling my friend who was asking me the question. And I said, I remember on my wedding day in the morning, I was with my two friends and they were all gisting and beautiful, beautiful. And I was nervous. My body was shaking. They call it butterfly. Mine was not butterfly. Mine was, Damola, this is forever. Are you sure? I felt like I was so suffocated in that minute. Guess what? The moment I came out of the car and I saw him, I knew that even though I knew it wasn't good, no marriage is a smooth sailing ride. But once I saw him and I knew that this is the person I'm marrying, the reason why I was sure enough to go into it was because of the person I was getting married and the person I know might be. I know that I'm not a quitter. I know that I'm going into this with God. I had confidence in my heart that, God is leading me. God never forsakes me. Whatever we'll go through it as a couple. And the person I'm marrying, he has his own. It's not 100%. It's not even. It's not perfect. Come on, it's not perfect. Then I wasn't. We both still had our rough edges, but I knew that it was perfect for me. It wasn't a perfect human being, but I knew it was perfect. And I knew that no matter even the little things that I still saw in him, that I still feel like, God, hey, you have to help me in this marriage. I knew that there were things that we'll walk through, and with the help of God, we'll be able to, scale through. So again, as long as you're sure of yourself, you're sure of your person, your relationship, your marriage, their values, and all of this. If you're waiting for you to be 100% ready for marriage, a lot of people waited. A lot of people missed out on amazing men men or amazing women because they kept waiting. Like, I want to be 100% sure. You won't get there, honestly. It's in marriage. I'm rounding up. Yeah, okay. It's when we got into the marriage. In short, what made us so good for each other, and we are still a work in progress, was the rough edges. The more we kept, it's like sandpaper, the more you keep rubbing off on each other, the smoother it gets, the perfect it gets for each other. When life challenges you, when you go through the fire together, you go through the seasons together, that's when you start to see, the thing in you that God made for him, the thing in him that God made for you, how perfect, how that, when the Bible says that help that is meet for him, you start to see how you guys, are really perfect for each other. So will you be 100% sure? I think so. At least that wasn't the story. I don't know if you guys were 100. Please leave it in the comment section. I'm not a sage of wisdom of all the wisdom, but from my own experience, no. But do I regret taking that? Absolutely no. I'm so thank God that I didn't allow my doubts and all of that, because guess what? No, as long as you're doing marriage with God, God will lead you, will give you wisdom. Nobody's 100% ready. Get to it and you realize that. But the people that are so excited on the wedding day, and then 2 months later you're hearing divorce. Why? They were sure at a certain point, at least sure enough to get married, but life would come, life happen. But you need to, the two of you have to be on the same page that no matter what comes our way, we will go through the storm together. And as long as you find that person with you, who is your person, there is no storm that you cannot weather. No storm with God that you cannot weather, right? So don't stop. If you're here and you're waiting for that 100% assurance, and that's why you are being skeptical, whether a lady or a man, don't waste time. Life is so precious, but yet life is so short. Don't waste time. Go into it with God. And as long as sex is not the only wine. I hope this has answered your question. I hope this blessed any one of you watching. Thank you so much for watching. Until we meet again, I still remain your favorite host. Why did I say favorite host? I still remain Victoria Ayodele Fash. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Please like this video. Please like the video. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe. I also have another channel where I talk about my faith and journey with God. It's called Unashamed with Victoria Fash. I'll link it below. Please also subscribe to that channel. I can't have 50,000 of you, and I'm finding it hard to get to 1,000 on my other channel, where we actually talk about God and faith and a lot of beautiful things on that channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay, thank you guys so much for love and for your support. I really appreciate you guys. Until we meet again, I still remain Victoria Ayodele Fash. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.